Yellow lights extinguished top the safety vehicle. Front row pulls alongside, as does each row in succession. Again, 40 cars set to do battle over the 50-lap distance. Field continues to grow week in and week out. We expect that throughout the summer months. Be sure to pick up a schedule of events before you leave the Speedway grounds today. Mike Paulson on the inside, John Puglisi on the outside. Billy Roberts on the flag stand, assisted by Mark Gear. Billy Roberts points to the line just off turn number 4. Green flag is out. Pedal to the metal. The drivers drag race down the front straightaway. Let's see who has the edge in turn number 1. It appears to be Mike Paulson in car number 69-0. John Puglisi in hot pursuit as they pull away from the field rather rapidly. They got a good jump at the drop of the green. Both drivers motoring on away as everybody else fights the heavy traffic in order to move forward. John Faulkner with a good move with the 03 Juniors back in the middle of the pack. He's making some giant strides forward down on the inside groove. Little bump and go in turn 3. Let's see what shakes down. Kenny Lozniak goes around with the 66X. He gets it off the racetrack. A couple other cars involved. We're going to get the yellow flag. Looks to be Edge. John Puglisi on the outside looks to battle back alongside, but comes up a bit short for his efforts. Joe Babinski runs third. The field works through 1 and 2. Everybody appears pointed in the right direction. Uh-oh, problems. Roy Kelsey in trouble with the 38. Sends Mark Lajoie around with the 4 car. Sean Manning on the 44X also involved. Let's see if Lajoie can get back out at the tail end of the field. It appears he will. Not too far in front of the leaders, but he's at least on the lead lap. He's got a lot of ground to make up. But now we have trouble over in turn 1, and that's going to bring out the caution flag. As Kelly Lindstrom and Etheridge come together. The caution flag is out. We've got a brake test going on. Whoa, a couple of guys come close in turn 4.
A break for Roy Kelsey as he's stuck over in the entrance to the Speedway in turn number 4 as Mike Paulson wins the drag race to turn number 1. Puglisi now runs second. Joe Babinski up challenging Dan Wagner. Billy Reynolds right there as well for the 5th position as Chuck Sweet holding on to that 6 spot. Then it's Barr in the 73 cent. John Faulkner on the move. Faulkner starting deep in the pack with the 0-3, now running in the top 10. He's got Tim Morissette right up alongside. It's a side-by-side battle between Moose Dowden and Ernie LaRose. So nice side-by-side battles for the top 10 at the present time. Mike Paulson running all by himself. John Puglisi as well. It's a side-by-side battle for third is Tucker Reynolds battling with Joe Babinski. Ron Swaney in trouble with the 3H as he fishtails that automobile. Tire going down on that entry. Jonesy in the 25 narrowly gets tapped. Number 4, Billy Roberts looks to send the field off. 5 down, 45 laps remaining. As Billy Reynolds now moving up to the runner-up spot, making his way past the 43 of John Puglisi. Here comes John Faulkner as well as he looks to take a peek down low. Faulkner having to battle back down low. He's got John Puglisi alongside. Joe Babinski in the 9 Long Island and the 00 of Danny Wagner running side by side, battling for that 5th position out on the Speedway. There's Chris Dowden in the 33X and the 3 of Tim Morissette. Likewise, they're in a side-by-side battle as Wagner and Babinski get hooked together. Moose Dowden, a quick move down low. Dowden able to take over that 5th position. Wagner proving to be equal to the task as Wagner able to battle back. But now he's running 6th on the Speedway. He's down, able to hold on to that 5th spot. Meanwhile, back up in front, Mike Paulson has his rear view mirror filled with a 34 of Billy Reynolds. Drew Erickson going around on the backstretch with a 57. He's out of harm's way at the present time. Back crew personnel telling him to back up to that 2nd asphalt stripe, but he's going to remain in the infield. As Mike Paulson continues to set the pace. Now John Faulkner moving up to that 3rd position on the Speedway. Faulkner right behind the wild thing of Billy Reynolds. John Puglisi running 4th caution out on the Speedway. Caution coming out for
and Tucker Reynolds battling it out here in turn number 1. The rest of the field follows suit. John Faulkner waiting in the wings with car number 03 Junior. He runs third. Danny Wagner, Puglisi, and Doughton all battling for that fourth spot as they go 3 wide through the turns. John Anzalone, the current point leader, car number 83, moves into the 6th spot. Nice and smooth, easy does it, picking his way through the field rather nicely. That's the idea of this game. Go as fast as you can, as quick as you can, as safe as you can. Anzalone is up to 6th, right behind the 9 of Joe Babinski. With 11 laps completed, he's made some giant strides forward in a very short time. Billy Reynolds, they call him Tucker Reynolds Jr. out front, car number 34. Going to campaign with us on Saturday night with a late model. On the afternoons, he enjoys it with a full-bodied pure stock car. John Faulkner has moved into the runner-up spot directly in front of Mike Paulson's number 690. That's the 690. Fourth is Chris Doughton, then it's Joe Babinski and John Anzalone. That's the top 6 cars. The next pack of 6 cars run side by side, nose to tail. Max Wagner heads to the infield with the 33 Connecticut. Somebody in trouble between the turn, Drew Erickson into the wall with the 57. And it looks George Murray Jr. in the 70 also. Resting on the apron between turns 1 and 2 is going to bring out yet another caution this afternoon. Both looking for the lion's share of the purse. First on the throttle is Tucker. He's got the edge into turn number 1. Faulkner pulls right in on his back bumper, as does the 69-0 of Paulson. Moose Doughton on the move. John Anzalone takes a peek to the inside. He's testing the waters on the backstretch. Anzalone battling for the 4th spot with Doughton. Side by side. A lot of confidence in one another when you can race that close, that fast for that long. Little bumper tag being played. Anzalone is sideways, smokes the tires, regains control nicely, giving way to Joe Babinski in car number 9. He's got a little ground to make up, but he's still got plenty of time to get the job accomplished. Babinski goes high through the turn, opens the door for Anzalone on the inside. Anzalone able to take advantage, pulls in alongside, has the 5th spot back at least, as he's got back one of the 2 spots he lost after that challenge for the 4th spot. The field staying tightly punched here in this early going. Kenny Lozniak goes around with the 66X. Let's see if he can keep it going right in front of the leaders. He rolls it back down off the banking. Let's see if he can refire the car. Up and over, losing a tire right in the garden. Mike Henry takes a wild ride to the infield. Tire off the car. He had the car up in the air a couple of times as Doughton goes around with the 33X. Caution flag is coming out. Green is back out. Tucker Reynolds has the edge. Mike Paulson looks to the inside of Faulkner. They lean just a bit through the turns. Paulson makes contact, gets squirrely, opens the door for Babinski to move back into the 3rd spot. Up front, it's Tucker Reynolds. John Faulkner runs 2nd, and it's Babinski, Paulson, and LaRose in that order. Field begins to tighten up front as some of the heavy hitters making their presence felt. Meanwhile, back in the back, it's Moose Doughton and John Anzalone trying to recover from that earlier altercation as Eddie Clark goes around in the backstretch. Paul Collar in the 86 car is also off the speedway. Now the 70 car of Murray is off the speedway. Things happen rather fast and furious as the yellow flag comes out. In turn number 1. Once again, Tucker wins the race into turn 1, has the lead and the advantage off turn 2. Faulkner in hot pursuit. Joe Babinski is right there. Mike Paulson is right there. LaRose is right there. Everybody right up front and battling for supremacy. John Anzalone trying to make up the lost ground, as is Moose Doubt. They've gotten about halfway through the pack, so they made up some of the lost ground. We still haven't gotten to the halfway point, so still plenty of time available. Both are very capable drivers, and let's see what they can do with their automobiles. Oh, somebody hot into the wall. The 21 E-car, Steve LaRose. He was sideways up into that wall, along with Paulson and Morissette. Few new names joining the front runners. As everybody awaits the green flag, back on the throttle, we're back underway. John Anzalone, back in traffic, continues to climb to the front of the field, as has Moose Doughton in the 33X. Halfway marker is out, 25 down, 25 to go as McDonald slides through the infield with the 99M. No contact, he looks to go back out. Whoa, now thinks better of the idea. Jumps on the binders as the field comes rumbling on by. Three and four wide through the turns. Everybody looking to catch up with the leaders. Top two cars open up a 3 or 4 car length advantage at the time being. The 34 of Reynolds and the 03 of Falk. Then we go to the 22E of Ernie LaRose and the 9 of Babinski. They've been there most of the race. Loses the left rear on the 33X car. I don't think he's going to get out of the mud. As you can see, that rim just spinning in the mud down there in turn number 4. Indeed, that is going to bring out the caution flag as Chuck Sweet Jr. in the 80. Downton wasting no time, sees the green flag, and he's absolutely flying through those tail enders. He got a bunch of back markers real fast, about a half a dozen or so. That's going to make his job a little bit easier. Keep in mind, he's got different left rear rubber. It's not dialed in, it might be just a little bit of a bear in the handling department. Tucker Reynolds out front. John Faulkner relentlessly chasing him down. It's been that way through most of the event. We've got less than 20 laps to go as Ned Olson goes around, catches Kenny Lozniak. Let's see if the 48 can get out of the way in time, and does just as the yellow flag comes out. Quick pace to the line. Again, it's Tucker Reynolds out front. He's been able to withstand numerous caution periods. Ernie LaRose doing a nice job, now moves into the runner-up spot in front of the 03 of Faulkner. Faulkner doesn't want to hear of it, looks to battle back, but comes up a bit short. Babinski doing a super job this afternoon in the 9 car. That's the best he's been able to muster to this point. Tim Morissette, Paulson, Lajoie all still thick in the action as Anzalone now comes charging forward with the 83 car. Anzalone fresh off the win 2 weeks ago. Keep in mind, he came from the back of the pack just about 20-something laps ago, and he's back up front challenging for the lead as Jonesy and Kenny Lozniak make contact here on the front stretch, and that's going to bring out yet another caution period. Well, let's see who's got brakes and who doesn't, folks. Keep your own. Ernie LaRose looking to change the script just a little bit, looks to the outside of Tucker Reynolds. As you can see, John Faulkner patiently waiting on the inside, makes his move through the turns. It's a battle for the runner-up honors between LaRose and Faulkner as Matt McDonald pulls off the speedway with the 99M. "34 laps completed. The field begins to stretch it out a little bit quicker now. Reynolds still able to maintain the number 1 position as Mike Paulson and Joe Babinski go at it. Let's see if he can get out in time, and he does as Paulson has it sideways. Oh, off the racetrack, on the racetrack, off the racetrack, and he goes around right in front of half the field. Beautiful job of shifting it into reverse. He's still going, folks. Looks to spin it around in front of Pete Brockett, gets it around, and keeps going. Unbelievable. Unfortunately for Pete Brockett, he's in trouble as everybody else moves on by. Paulson did a nice job of getting it turned around. I'll bet you he couldn't duplicate that if he was the only car on the speedway, let alone at racing speeds. Little bit of trick driving going on out there that pays off. Meanwhile, Tucker Reynolds able to take off as Eddie Clark loses the left front on the 8 car and heads to the infield. LaRose pulls right on the back bumper of Reynolds, but Faulkner just a bit off the pace at the present time. Now has Mark Lajoie and Tim Morissette running 4th and 5th right up there on his back bumper. Hey, Mike Blansfield's coming on. John Angelo's right there. Joe Babinski's still around as Chucky Sweet Jr. heads to the infield with car number 80. We are 39 laps into this feature event and counting. A lot of cars are going to get lapped in a hurry as Reynolds looks to the outside. The slower cars go to the inside. Reynolds has been on a quick pace all afternoon. LaRose finally came on in the closing laps. Faulkner, who had been in a position to challenge, has fallen somewhat off the pace. Another car coming alive is the 4 of Mark Lajoie. He's been rather quiet, in trouble early, but he's coming back to hopefully salvage a good finish in this one as McDonald goes through the infield with kind of a 99M. Ron Swaney also having problems with the 3H car, staying down in the apron out of harm's way as Pete Brockett goes around with the 88. Quickly dives it off the racetrack to the infield, looks to bring it around and come back out, and then allowed some of the other drivers to stay on the throttle and keep in the action. Nice job by Pete Brockett. That allows the event to continue with only 8 circuits remaining. Reynolds begins to smoke a bit again. He did that earlier in the event. Again, the smoke showing up as some of the faster cars getting up with some of the slower cars. A few roadblocks to navigate through. Mark Lajoie challenging for the 3rd place as he looks underneath the 03 of Faulkner. .44 on the scoreboard and counting. John Faulkner momentarily slip slides, opening the door for Mark Lajoie to move into 3rd. Mark Lajoie, by the way, finished 4th a couple of weeks ago. Could improve that today. 5 laps to go. Again, that smoke comes from underneath the back bumper of Tucker Reynolds, number 34. We're not sure if it's just not tire smoke, folks, as he lights them up in an effort to harness all the horsepower available. Faulkner now begins to fade as Mike Blansfield gets on by for the 3rd spot with the 78. Make that the 4th spot with the 78. As Anzalone gets into 5th with the 03. Only a few more laps to go. We're in the closing laps. Reynolds running just strong enough to stay up front. Now LaRose closes in, folks. Little bumper tag being played as Reynolds slip sliding for what appears to be the first time this event. With but 2 circuits to go, has LaRose and Lajoie breathing fire in his back bumper. Lajoie takes a look to the inside. Mark Lajoie battling for the lead as Tucker Reynolds evidently running into a problem. Slip sliding a bit with only 1 lap to go, a 1/3 of a mile. A brand new leader as Mark Lajoie has taken over command.
Lajoie with a car length between he and the 22 of Ernie LaRose. They worked their way into turn number 4 for the final time as Mark Lajoie picks up the win in this afternoon's 50-lap pure stock main event. Ernie LaRose settles for the second spot. Tucker Reynolds finishes We're going to have to hold off for the third place finisher, though the...
Never looked like this was going to happen at the end, folks. I'm not a betting man, but here's your winner, as Mark Lajoie came from absolutely nowhere with just a little over a lap to go to slide into victory lane. Mark, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
I didn't write the script, but evidently you played it right to the checkered flag, and that's what you got to do. It's not over till it's over, and that's
right.
just about the way it played out this afternoon.
Yeah, it did. Car ran good all day, and I was just glad to get up to the front by the end.
You know, with a couple of laps to go, you're running 4th, 5th, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Did you ever think you were going to be able to get by those front runners?
I didn't think I could catch him, honestly.
On the backstretch, all of a sudden, it seemed like you got a burst of speed like I haven't seen in a while. You got down underneath the second and the first place cars almost in one failed swoop. Was that the plan, or is that just the way it unfolded?
That's just the way it happened.
You finished 4th a couple of weeks ago. You got a win today that's got to put you right up front in the standings. What can we look forward to for the rest of the year? Are you going to continue on looking for the championship?
Yeah, we're going to go for the championship this year. Hopefully we'll have a real good year.
Well, right now it's starting off good, Mark. Again, congratulations on a nice run. How about it, folks? A nice round of applause as Mark Lajoie wins feature event number 1 in what he hopes is many more this season.